Hello, Redstoners! This is Zaptrocity, and we are back with some more Minecraft Redstone guide. Today we're going to look at something pretty cool. So we're going to take another look at the redstone repeater. So today we're going to go over repeater locking, which is a concept with repeaters that we are going to go into. It's somewhat useful in some cases, but we'll see. So we already know that repeaters can send the signal along like this, and if we keep that powered, we can see that it actually gives out another signal strength of 15, so 15, 14, 13. We can see right there that the signal has traveled a total of 15 more blocks from here, and so it basically repeats the signal, so we know all that cool stuff. We also know that repeaters have a delay. We can set this delay up to all the way up to 4 ticks, and we can just flip the lever and slowly makes its way to the end. There we are, and slowly makes its way back. So this is pretty cool. Oh, I almost forgot. We also know that repeaters can actually pull power from an indirectly powered block and put power out as a direct power block. So we push this button here, it lights up, so it can take the power out of the blue wall block and convert it into a direct power, and which means it can power those blocks too. There we are, and that means we could place some blue wool there too, and that would also light up the redstone dust. Same thing works through here. We can do that kind of thing. Oh, but I already showed you guys that. Whoops. Yeah. So those are some cool functions with the repeater. But there is another thing we're going to go into today, and this is called repeater locking. So we got one repeater, and that's just powering our redstone lamp. So we can see that right there. Activate this lever, powers the block, and the repeater takes the power from the block out into this redstone lamp. Very simple. We can see it right there. Alright. Now, this lever has a repeater pointing into the side of this repeater. And if we do this, we can see we get this little bedrock bar over top the repeater. And this is cool in the fact that if we flip this lever, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. As you can see right there, this is activated because we see the lamps on, but nothing's happening. Now, if we turn this off, activate this, and then turn this on, you can see that the bedrock bar is now on top of the repeater, but this is now on, so that's cool. Now we turn this off. Okay, now this is strangely still on, and this is doing nothing. It's not until we flip this, then everything turns off. If we went back to that state, like before, if we kept this on, turn this off, it's still powered, because you can see right there. So this is very strange, and we're going to go into a little more detail on how this all works. But I want to clarify a few things about this repeater locking. Now we have comparator here instead, and the same thing happens. So this activates the redstone lamp. But as you can see, this comparator does not give that little bedrock bar like on the repeater, like what the repeater did. And if we do this, wow, isn't that amazing? I never knew this. I thought this wouldn't work, but apparently it does. We're putting a comparator against it, and it seems to be locking it because we flip that. This should be taking the power out from the redstone lamp, but I never knew that comparators could actually lock the repeater. Wow, you learn something new every day. So if you didn't know that either, comparators can actually lock them. I was going to tell you guys how it couldn't, but you know, I'm completely wrong about that now. So yeah, it seems to be locking the repeater. So that's something new. Pretty cool. Now here, I'm pretty sure this doesn't work. As you can see, redstone dust does not lock the repeater. There. So we could flip that off. Acts the exact same, even if it's on or off. Alright, and another thing I want to show you guys. Repeater locking doesn't happen through a block. So you could do that, but this is still going to stay the same. Turn that off, still the same. So repeater locking cannot happen through a block, alright? It can only happen if the repeater is facing right there, like so. And we get that little bedrock bar. And except for the case with the comparator, which, wow, never knew about that. Alright, so let's look at this again. So we've got our two levers, and this is activating, and this one's pointing into the repeater, doing our little lock there. Now this is pretty cool. We can actually adjust the delay on the repeater, like, as normal, but the bedrock bar moves, so we can tell which delay it's on. So that's 1 tick of delay, 2, 3, 4. So that's just something cool too. And now repeater locking. So it may seem a little complicated, but basically repeater locks is kind of a way, I think, of what people can refer to this as a D flip-flop. I'm not 100% sure, but so this could be great for circuits. So we can flip this lever, it will activate the circuit, so we could change this actually into a button, and we can push the button, oh, door opens, but we have a lock. Alright, now we push the button, nothing happens. And we could even turn the button on and lock it like that. We can make sure to keep it on. So this is like a locker. It kind of locks the state. So if we turn it on, we can keep it on, or we could just turn it off and keep it off. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's basically what the repeater locks do. Now there are some cool things with the repeater locks. So some people have created some amazing circuits with this, and unfortunately I cannot name all the names because I have a whole list of different contraptions. Not all of them are circuits. I'll be going into some of the other stuff later. But in the description I should have links to many designs that use repeater locking. A cool thing about repeater locking is that it's silent, and you could make some pretty compact stuff. So this here is, alright, now we got it working. This here is an arsenal latch. So we flip this button, it turns on, turn this button off, and this turns off. So if you don't remember what an arsenal latch is, I explained this in some of the logic gates. An arsenal latch will keep a state, so we can turn this on, and it will pretty much stay on forever until we push the other button to turn it off. So this is great for things like a door. Here we are, I got a door in my inventory, and we could turn it on. Oh, so let's put down a little label here. So this is on. Alright, this will turn our door on, and this will turn it off. Alright, now we want to turn it off. Alright, cool, we could turn it on now, and we can walk on through. We can leave this on pretty much forever and ever until we turn it off. And then it will, turn off completely. So that is pretty awesome. If you don't know, this is a pretty neat little circuit, very small. Links in the description to all the circuits. And this here is a monostable circuit, very cool. So we push the button, and it sends a short little 1 tick pulse through. So you can see that repeater blink very quickly. And we can tell this is a 1 tick pulse because the sticky piston is actually leaving the block out there. It's not actually pulling it back. So we can tell that it's a monostable circuit. Now we can modify this monostable circuit to be a falling edge detector. So we turn it on, nothing happens. Turn it off, and it activates. Turn it on, nothing. Turn it off, and something happens. We can do that just by removing the inverter. So you can see here, we activate it, it turns on, turn it off, nothing happens. Complete opposite with this, however. So pretty cool. Now over here, I think I've got a T flip-flop design. So we push the button, turns off, and we push the button again, it turns back on. So that's pretty cool. We can have a door here, and we can say on. Oh, I probably need to replace the door right there. There we are. Turns the door on and turns it off. So yeah, it'll basically stay off forever or stay on forever, depending on, Oops, I think I'd modify the delay there. There we are. Stayed on, stay off. So this is a 3x3x3 design. Yeah, 3x3x3. So we got 3 3 along here, 3 along here, and 3 upwards. 1, 2, and 3. So pretty cool, very nice and compact. Very compact than some other T flip-flops out there. Amazing. And I think this is another T flip-flop. I think I found this on Seth Bling's channel. This is where I found most of my information on repeater locking. He made this design. It works pretty good, nice. It's even more compact than that one. So this one's 3, or actually it's 4 if you can include that torch. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I guess that is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 by 2. Oh, 3. 4 by 3. Actually, it might be a little bigger, but it does look a little smaller. It uses a little less redstone than this, I think. So pretty cool. A very simple T flip-flop. It works on the principle of a clock, just going around, and this repeater just locks the state, and then unlocks it, and so on. So that is pretty awesome. Now the thing about this is if we flip a lever, it's just going to run a clock. So this design doesn't work too well. If we go over here, flip a lever, turns on, oh, stays on. So no problems there. And if we turn it off, nothing happens, then we activate again, and it stays like this. You know? Pretty cool. So that is the problem with this design by Seth. Now, I also made my own design here. It was basically another version of this. And I actually found this when experimenting with the monostable circuits. I came across this design. So it's the same thing. It's a T flip-flop. And there we are. So basically we have our normal monostable circuit. If we ignore this inverter and redstone, this basically is our monostable circuit. And basically all it does is it sends a signal through. And then as soon as I turn the lever off, it is going to unpower this repeater. And at the same time, it will then turn on the redstone torch, go through a repeater, and since this has the delay, it will then relock the repeater again, slightly after, but that is enough delay for this repeater to send the signal through. So we unpower it, you can see it right there. It sends the signal through and locks it. Alright, and then as soon as we power this, what happens is the repeater comes through here, unpowers this. Maybe it's just easier to show you guys. There we are. Yeah. Alright, so that's how it works. It's basically about the same size as that one there. So this is 1, 2, 2 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 by 5. So that's 10. And it's only 2 tall. 1, 2. So that's pretty cool. Now the thing about this is if we push the button, it takes a while to turn off. Now we can fix this by putting a repeater here, I mean a redstone torch there instead, and then putting our things in there. So we push our button, instant. Push it again, instant. Or almost instant. If you look at this design right here, that this occurs instant. So adding on this redstone torch, I guess it does increase its size a little more. So it's about the same as that one, I'd say. But it's all up to you. Alright, so now moving on to some other uses with the repeater locking. Now this is pretty cool. This is what Seth Bling called a buffer. But I've heard lots of people refer to this as a shift register. So basically what this does is we push the button and the signal moves along by 1. Push the button again, it moves along by 1. Push it again, moves it along by 1. Push it again, moves it along by 1. And it basically resets. Now that door opens, so we need to push this button 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we push that button 4 times and the door finally opens. So that can be really cool. You could just have one button and you have to push it 4 times before the door actually opens. And yeah, we reset it. So what's happening here is we have a little monostable circuit, just a little more delay, so the torch can quickly turn off and then back on. And all these repeaters will then unlock unlock all these repeaters. And since this is locked and this one's locked, it cannot be updated. So as soon as we get rid of unlock all these repeaters, the signal is going to transfer here, and since it's a quick pulse, it will quickly shift over and lock all of them. So we push that quickly shifts over, and then gets locked. So that's pretty cool. So basically, when it reaches the end here, let's try and get to the end. There we are. And once it's here, it powers the door, and it comes back around to power the block with this repeater. Now, since this repeater is being locked, it cannot receive any power, but as soon as we push the power and unlock all these repeaters, this repeater will receive the power, and this one will lose its power because nothing else is powering it behind it. So we push the button, so it loses its power, and this one gains the power. That's pretty cool. I also have a lever here. Now if we turn that on, it turns on the door, but not only does it do that, but it can also add in a few more little strength signals there, and we push it again. Now we have got 3 activated instead of the just 1, which might be a good, bad thing. It's pretty much up to you. So we still have 3 on. Pretty cool. Now what we can use this is also for is a little counter. So I think Exuma Void made a nice video on using this kind of concept too. So I'll link that in the description too if you want to check that out. It's basically the same thing using the repeater locks. Push the button, this door opens, push it again, it moves along, and to that door, and restarts. So that's pretty awesome. You could choose between your door. Next door, no. Next door, nah. This door, nah. And you continue doing that. So it's basically the same thing, except for we're putting blocks in between. So we've got these redstone lamps in between, and basically it does the exact same thing, but remember how repeaters can send power through a block, and it can also receive power through a block, and we use that kind of concept to create this little counter. So that's pretty awesome. It can reset, and remember we've got our lever here, so we can add in more doors, and we can turn it off now, and there we are. We have 2 doors opening at the same time. That's pretty awesome. Alright, now this same kind of thing can be done over here. I've got a little piston tape. I showed you guys this in the piston hopper circuits. And basically, if we push the button, there we are. It pushes everything around, quite noisy. And we can see we've got 1 activated. We've got multiple ones activated. And basically we can do kind of like a little loop. So, pretty cool. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. It's basically like the little counter. It counts it up. So we could do something like this. Alright, now, let's see, can I do this right? Alright, so we can do 1 there, 2, 3. Alright, so now we're going to make it count up a little more. Alright, so it's got that turned on. Flip it again, it moves on to the second one. This one moves on to the third. And I haven't got it set up to go to number 4, but I can do that quickly. There we are. And there we are. It switches over to the 4th lamp. So pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. It works in the same kind of way. But the best thing about this is that you can, you know, have even more turned on at the same time. You can modify it a little more. This one, it's a little harder to modify, to have multiple ones on at the same time. Now, if we try and reset all of that by just doing that, and breaking that, and putting that back in. Alright, so now if we turn this on, and let one through, alright, turn it off, let another one through, so now it's moving over, and I'll just let another one through. Alright, you guys will see what I'm doing in the end, hopefully. I messed this up. Okay, so now I've got it fixed up. So now we've got the alternate ones working. So now that we do this, it flips the alternate ones. So that's pretty cool. This alters between those two. So that also works, but to change it, you'll have to adjust the amount of redstone being powered here, and you'll have to get rid of all this signal. So basically, if we get rid of that, and we push the button over and over, it will slowly move over to the end, and since it's not returning back to the original thing, then it's not going to work. So yeah, there are a few, problems with this, but it's still cool nevertheless. Now, this is another thing you can do with the shift register thingy with the repeater locking. You can pretty much combine two in a row, and you'll basically get like more amounts of possible combinations. So this took us to open this door. Oh, well, let's go to this one. To open this door, we needed to push this button 4 times. Alright, let's replace that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, turns on. That's great. And it resets. Now over here, I've set it up so it requires 16 pushes to actually turn this lamp on or off. Let's get our lamp back actually. There we are. Alright. So now how this works is we've got 4 repeaters here, and we have 4 over here, and 4 times 4, 16. So if you have 4 here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, it would be 4 to the power of 4 amount of times you would have to push the button to let the signal reach the end. So as you can see, this could stack up quite nicely. If you had 5 repeaters in a row here, and you had 5 here too, it would be 5 times 5, 5 squared, and there will be a total of 25 button pushes to get to the end. So let's just reset this thing. It's possibly going to be around 16ish. I'm not too sure. Alright, so we want to turn that off first. It might be a little off, like maybe 15, 17, because I might have added an extra button push. Alright, so we need to reset that. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, and as soon as we push the third one, it allows the next lot to come along. So every time we go through a full cycle, so 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, goes another. 1, 2, 3, 4, goes another. So as you can see, since there are 4 repeaters here, we'll have to do this little circuit of 4 times. So that's how we get the total of 16 pushes. Okay, so I wasn't counting too much, but that was quite a lot of button pushes, and we got the light lit up. So you could pretty much extend this all the way along, and have to push the button many times to get into your base, which might be a little annoying. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So all that is at the end here, it goes through a little monostable circuit, just like here. It acts as our button input. We need to make sure we have another monostable circuit, so it only sends a short pulse through to these repeaters. But yeah, that's about it for most of the main stuff. Another cool thing I want to show you guys with repeater locking is a little pulse lengthener. So we push the button, and basically the door is still open, closed, even after this button dies out. So that's pretty cool. Now basically what happens is we turn on the button, this repeater is on, but it's locked by all these other repeaters. So every 3 blocks I've got another repeater going into here, so that it doesn't run out. So you can see right there it goes through. So we need to make sure that there's always a constant signal coming in at the repeater until it runs out. So basically we could add in more repeaters here, and we could lengthen this even more. That might be a little long now. Oh, no, got to the end. And very slowly, wow, that door would stay on for quite some time. But this does get a little lengthy, but, it's up to you. It's a pretty cool pulse lengthener idea if you wanted to use that. Another cool thing I found is with repeater locking, since we could create this little chain of repeaters that are on. So that's just quite crazy. So since this repeater is locking this one, it can't change state from an on, and it kind of circles around. Now as soon as we flip this off, everything's gonna go bong 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 bong, and everything's gonna turn off. So I want to see that actually. Oh, look at that. All dies out. So I'll show you guys how to make that too, if you really want to. So we just have our repeater activated. Probably easier to use levers. Turn that on, and then we want to lock that. And since this is now locked, we can get rid of that lever because it's locked, and we just lock that one. There we are, and just rinse and repeat. Yeah, look at that. Awesome. This could be like a cool little design for a carpet or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Alright. Yeah, pretty cool. You can even adjust the bedrock bars for, you know, the amount of delay, and that could be also pretty cool. Woohoo! So that's a crazy floor design idea if you really want to use that. Just be careful to make sure it's always got that power source. Otherwise, bump, 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 bump. Alright, so that's it for today's episode. Hope you all enjoyed. And yeah, that's it for today. Hope you all enjoyed today's episode on repeater locking. And take care, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.